Managing weight becomes an issue mostly because of the hormonal changes. The hormonal changes impact everything. They're all affecting each other. You cannot manage your weight if you're not getting good sleep. If you're having difficulty with blood sugar management, insulin resistance, that happens with these hormonal changes. I thought I would get straight to the hormones that help. We have estrogen, our happy hormone. Estrogen helps with depression. We have progesterone. Progesterone calms the brain and helps with sleep, helps with anxiety. How much anxiety is there right now? It's a new pandemic, I think. Testosterone. A lot of people don't really think about that. In the United States, at this time, we do not have a form of testosterone replenishment that you can get at a regular pharmacy on your insurance. Because of that, a lot of doctors just aren't trained. Our training is within that paradigm of medicines that come from regular pharmacies and the pharmaceutical industry. We use compounding pharmacies a lot. We have a wonderful one here in Reno that I'm getting to know them. Of course, thyroid hormone. Women end up with thyroid difficulties, usually low thyroid function, about 8 times as often as men do. So it's very important. Most doctors do 1 test. When I do my initial panel, I start with 7, just to give you an idea of how much deeper it's possible to go. So if your doctor says, oh, I checked these 3 things and check, they're in the normal range, which I always hold up air quotes when someone tells me my doctor told me everything was normal, thyroid is particularly susceptible to that interpretation because it's a very big range. Adrenals. We have 2 little adrenals. They're each about the size of a walnut. They sit on top of each kidney, and we cannot live without them. I think that our adrenals and the stress that they absorb when we're tired or we're not feeling great, and we still have to go do our job and take care of our families, our adrenals are what take the hit. But the adrenals also make DHEA, and they use pregnenolone, a brain hormone, to help make cortisol. Growth hormone comes from the brain straight to the body. Kids that are growing have levels. There's a marker that we can measure. Their levels are 400, 500, 600, and then it levels off and it tapers off. But it's a useful hormone, very important for our cell repair. So in adults, it's a cell repair hormone. Melatonin is it decreases as we get older. It is a hormone from the brain to the body. And all of these contribute to feeling good. Another hormone that I didn't put on that list is vitamin D. Vitamin D is a hormone. It's called a vitamin, but it is actually a hormone, and it is so important. Higher levels of D were associated with lower incidence of severe COVID during the pandemic. Vitamin D is really good at higher levels, not just barely making it onto the range where your level is above 30. You want it above 60. Okay, now I'm going to focus on the happiness part. Specifically, how do each of these hormones contribute to helping us feel our best? Because if we don't feel our best, we're not doing our best. Progesterone helps. Progesterone is so benign as a hormone. You can get it on Amazon as a cream, and you can just try it out. You can see if it helps you feel calmer. You can see if it helps you sleep. You can use the tiniest little dab and then work up, all right? Unfortunately, because doctors aren't trained in all of this, there's a lot of do-it-yourself online these days. What else helps? Okay, this is the part that I can't help with. Sleep hygiene, turning the screens off, going to bed at a reasonable hour for you, cool, that's very, very important. How about brain sharpness? So important. Thyroid, very important. When we talk about, or you hear people talk about brain fog, just hard to focus, that gets a lot of medications also. And at the underlying root cause, there's often low functioning thyroid hormone in the body at the level of the cells. And thyroid is completely critical to the brain and brain sharpness. Testosterone, really helpful. By the way, testosterone, which men have about 20 times as much as we do, that's the #1 reason that men have such an easier time with their weight compared to us, okay? So, mystery solved. All they have to do is stop eating X, Y, or Z, and the weight just responds. Meanwhile, a little more to it for us. Also estrogen. So those are the 3 for brain sharpness. We want to do what we can to manage our weight. It is harder. It's not your imagination. Testosterone can really help. Growth hormone can also help. And I'll tell you one way to boost your production of growth hormone is get good sleep. We make growth hormone at night while we sleep. And estrogen, really helpful, helping the tissues as well as the brain. A doctor I trained with said, women who don't have enough testosterone don't like their husbands. And women who don't have enough estrogen don't like anybody. So I'm going to tell you that estrogen is really helpful. Very important to pay attention to what's happening with our bodies.